Aztecs. They're getting ready for a game tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, sold out against the Wyoming Cowboys. And we're joined by Aztecs junior Tim Shelton on the line with us here on Extra Sports 1360. Tim, first of all, thanks for joining us. You're on with Brian Wilson and Ben Higgins. Have you been able to put BYU in the rearview mirror and start focusing ahead really well on Wyoming at this point?
Thanks for having me, first of all, Ben and Brian. Kind of. It's still a little bit of a bitter taste in our mouth, of course. But, we're definitely focused on the game tomorrow, and, we definitely need to get this game.
Tim, so much has been made out of that game, and it was in a real exciting game for you guys. Now, in retrospect, what do you take away from a loss traveling to BYU in front of 23,000 fans?
Just that there's a lot of work to be done. We feel like we didn't play to our, the best of our ability. They played a great game themselves, though. Taking nothing away from them, of course. But, just going to show that we still got a lot of work to do to get where we want to be,
Tim, I think one thing that surprised me watching the game is how well BYU competed with you guys underneath. I know Kawhi had a great game, but they were also down there, pulling down some rebounds, some offensive rebounds, blocking some of your guys' shots. That's where I was kind of expecting you guys to pull away. Can you give me an idea as to what you thought happened in that one?
You're right. Even with the big guy Davies in foul trouble, their backup big stepped up and they played really well. And it's just a credit to their guys on the bench and came in with great energy under a high pressure game, and they came and played well.
Looking at film, it usually tells a tale of maybe what people don't see when they're watching it for the first time. When you guys go back and you watch film and you see Jimmer Fredette hitting from all over the court, do you go and say, wow, you just got to tip your cap to him that night he was on, or do you say we still could have done a much better job of picking him up on the other side of the court and walking him all the way down?
You kind of go and watch our film, and you kind of watch the film of the other couple 40-point games he's had in the last 4 games or whatnot, and it's kind of like, man, we didn't expect that to happen to us. At the same time, you got to tip your hat to the guy. He's a great scorer. Even Kevin Durant was like, this kid's the best scorer in the world. So, our game plan's going to be different next time we play him, but, right now I'm thinking about Saturday, so.
We're not going to let you move on yet. I just want to ask you a couple more questions just about Jimmer, because when I was watching that game, and Brian, you brought it up too, you guys were all over him on some possessions. There was one in particular, it was still a close game in the second half, and you guys played fantastic defense for like 33 seconds, and he had nothing, and Chase was all over him about 30 feet from the basket, and he just launched up another one, and it went in. And was that kind of a moment where you kind of sagged your shoulders maybe just for a second, like, okay, well, this is impossible. What are you asking us to do here?
It's never a feeling of it's impossible, It's just he's making another tough shot, making another tough shot. It's just kind of the skill level he has, At that point, it was kind of like the kid was on fire, You watch him and you see how he puts the ball in the basket. Sometimes it seems like it's with ease and there's not much, his facial expression never changes either. So it's like, man, what's going through this kid's head? But, he made a big shot, and, at that point, it's like, I'm still trying to win this game. He made a tough shot. Let's get down, try to get another basket and get a stop.
Tim, Coach Fisher's talked about you as being well beyond your years. I know you're looked at as one of the captains of this team, even though you're not a senior. DJ Gay holds that title. Looking at this right now, and you kind of saw a couple times the frustration in some of the different players, just not being able to get those balls to go down in the paint, which have happened so much this season. Looking at it from a leadership standpoint now, how do you keep those guys mentally focused on flipping the page now and knowing that you have Wyoming on your home court and everything can get rectified by just going out there and taking care of business?
Just understanding that, the season doesn't end here. It was great to be undefeated. Now we've got a loss, and just understanding that we want to start another win streak, These guys understand the talent level that they have and that they can still get better and grow, and definitely, that's kind of one of those things that you lose the game, and instead of hanging your heads a little bit, you want to get back in the gym. We came back the day after the game, and I felt like we had a great practice. The energy was high, and the guys were all attentive, definitely paying attention to what was going on, trying to get better the day after, and that just kind of goes to their maturity level and showing that they still want to get better. And, we lost, but, next time we see them, we definitely want to beat them.
Aztecs junior Tim Shelton with us here on Extra Sports 1360. Tim, am I crazy for saying this, but now that you've lost, does that almost let you relax a little bit, like take a weight off your shoulder? We knew it was going to happen. It did. Now let's just go out and play basketball and have some fun again and not worry about rankings and, the streak and everything like that.
Kind of, in a sense. I feel like that's kind of general consensus on what people are thinking, It's one of those things where it's exciting to be undefeated, and there's a lot of pressure to continue to win, home and away. Now that we lost, it's like, we plan on losing, again. But it's like, let's just go, let's go now. We're not undefeated, but you know what? We're still a really good team, and let's just do this. Let's try to win the league.
How tough is it to play at BYU?
very tough, man. They had a great home base. A couple of our people made it out there too, but BYU's, the fans definitely showed up that day, and it was loud. It kind of reminded me of New Mexico with that atmosphere, how loud it got. And, it was one of those things that definitely played a part in the game.
I know Fisher doesn't ever let you guys talk about altitude and whatever, but it seemed like in the second half it kind of did take a little bit of an effect on you guys. Did you kind of feel the effects of just so much of intensity in that first half? The second half, you guys were a little winded?
I feel like generally looking at it, maybe it might have looked like we were a little winded, but I just feel like it's one of those things where guys are necessarily out of shape. It's just like just that task of guarding Zimmer maybe can get some people a little tired too, coming up a lot of floppy screens and guarding them off full court, even though you make a basket, you tries to make everything into transition, and you kind of have to try and deny him and stuff like that too. So just that task might have got people a little bit tired too.
Tim, before we let you go, a little bit about the Cowboys. I know, they're not at the top of the conference. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen scouting this team, getting ready, what we can expect tomorrow night at Viejas Arena.
They're a tough group of guys. They've got a lot of talent. Anybody in our league can beat anyone. They've had a little bit of a down year so far, but they've got good leadership in their point guard. And he's coming back to his hometown, J.D. Luster. He's going to be pretty good.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he is a good player, and their bigs are solid. They're just a solid all-around team. They got a good coach, so it's going to be a challenge. We're going to have to come and play definitely tomorrow.
Hey Tim, what do you want to say to San Diego fans right now that are still feeling the effects of just that kind of letdown of not being able to pull off that big victory at BYU? You got a lot of the show listens to Extra Sports, and I know you're real tight with a lot of those guys. What's your message to them, knowing that you still have a lot of basketball to play?
Just we appreciate the love and support so far, and just keep that love and support up. We appreciate you guys, and we're going to keep doing our thing, winning games, and looking forward to see how this season turns out.
Hey Tim, before you go, can you help me give away a couple of Aztec basketball tickets for tomorrow night's sold-out game?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, here's my question: who was your favorite NBA player growing up?
My favorite NBA, Doug Christie was my favorite NBA player.
Doug Christie. Okay, everyone hold on to that knowledge. It may prove important later on when we do a little giveaway for some Aztec tickets. Tim, appreciate you spending some time with us here on Extra Sports, and good luck tomorrow night against the Cowboys.
Definitely. Thanks for having me, guys.